What is good, everybody? Woo, woo, woo. Yeah, it's time I finally do this. Um, Retrospective of the spring season of 2023. Anime, baby, anime time. Um, I'm so behind on doing this. It's ridiculous. I just didn't set aside the time to talk about it, but yeah. Let's get into it. We're gonna go ahead and get the screen up for it and all. So we're gonna get into it. So yeah, first off, let's just kind of go in order. We got Demon Slayer, the Swordsmith Village arc, and ended up seeing the movie, which basically had like kind of the first episode or two in it. No, it was the first episode in that Swordsmith Village arc thing, and now we got it to finally see what continued off from that. And let me tell you, it was super dope. Like, I enjoyed it. Yeah, it did seem like some things moved a little bit slower, but there was still a lot of action to be held within like half of the episodes, dealing with all the different demons in this one. You know, the one with the pottery, and then the one that had its different forms in emotions. And yeah, getting to know a little bit more of the other people in the Demon Slayer Corps, and then how it ended with Nezuko. That was interesting. Ooh. But I won't spoil anything if you haven't seen it, but I quite enjoyed it. Alright, up next, the next thing I got to watch is Hell's Paradise. Yeah, I know. I don't have High Dive, so. And I try to watch everything legally, okay? So I haven't watched Oshinoko. Alright, Hell's Paradise. Another show. Super, super, super action-packed. And getting to know a little bit of background on some of these characters too, and the world building they started to create on the way the island works was really neat. Seeing the different struggles they ended up going through, and the fights were really, really neat. And yeah, I can't wait to see what else they end up doing with this, because I know it's going to be really cool and exciting. All right, up next, Dr. Stone, New World. Yeah, so this is like the first part. Like when it ended, I did, like when I got to the last episode they were showing, I was like, wait, that's it? But there's still so much left. But yeah, it was really cool. We got to see more stuff with Risui and involved in everything, and just more really cool, interesting sciencey stuff that we got to learn and see how they eventually got to cross the seas to try and find where they can get some more materials to make more of the revival fluid, to get more people out of the frozen state they're in, the petrified state. So really cool, and I can't wait for this New World arc to finish off with part 2. Mashal's up next. This one was hilarious and fun. Just, you know, this guy Mash, just the guy who is the non-magical fight, the only non-magical dude in the world, and just being able to defeat them all with just the immense strength that he possesses from intensely working out. Yeah, really fun, really quirky, and I digs it. And if I remember correctly, this is based off the same mangaka that did Soul Eater. There you go, Soul Eater. If I remember correctly, it's from the same mangaka. Anyway, dig it. Anyway, up next, we're gonna end up talking about my date with Yamada-kun level 999. That was sweet. I've really enjoyed watching this. Like, it's a good little romance show, and just seeing them interact and try and like figure out do we like each other? Is it okay to like this person? Does do they actually like me back? And just seeing it in this young lady's eyes as a young college student, um, kind of in like with a almost graduate of high school. But yeah, it was very cute. I enjoyed it quite a bit. Next, gonna talk about the Isekai Cheat world. I got the Isekai Cheat, and I have good skills in the real world too, something like that. Entertaining, dumb but entertaining, and I know a lot of people don't really like Yuya because of just how nice and how unchanged he is from everything that happened. But I kind of like that aspect of him. He doesn't become like a douche. And he actually, you know, slowly, very extremely slowly, gets to realize that he is he is worth more than what he lets off on. But you know, I'm really curious how they decide to build this world even more. I hope they continue to animate it, because I will not be reading the light novel. Up next, we're gonna have, let's see, here we go. Death Mount Death Play. Oh my gosh, another thing. Super crazy world building, very interesting powers, very different things going on. And if I remember correctly, this is also by the mangaka that did Durarara and Baccano. If that is true, that explains why trying to carry all these different very interesting characters is done in a way that's pretty interesting and pretty well done for the most part. So I can't wait for them to continue to uncover what in the world is going to happen with the Corpse God and the relations to his old world and the modern world. So it's going to be really interesting to see how that plays out. Up next, we're going to talk about Ancient Magus Bride Season 2, which I also thought was really, really interesting. And she's finally going to the college and kind of getting to meet a whole bunch of new people. They introduced a lot of new characters and how some of them, most of them being alchemists, and the world that they live in, and you know, as in like the society that they live in outside of, you know, what Chise has already kind of gotten introduced to, with getting more information on the magical things that she's kind of seen in life. But yeah, getting this whole new set of characters and their backgrounds and all that kind of stuff is really interesting, and I can't wait to see how this continues as well. Then Kamisatsu, I believe, is how they shortened the name of this. But yeah, God in a Godless World. Very interesting show. How the powers ended up working for all the archons, and the ridiculous stuff they've done with the animation in this. Like, part of it I feel like it's part of it they feel is bad on purpose. In other parts I'm like, okay, this is just bad. But it was extremely entertaining to watch, despite me giving it a poor rating. 6 is like a poor rating for me. 6 and 5 are usually the lowest that I go, because I'm just too nice. But anyway, it was entertaining, and that's what mattered to me, and it made me laugh a lot. Up next, we got Summoned to Another World again. And this was also interesting, kind of how they tried to build the world, even though it still seemed like even though he was doing it again, it literally seemed like he was doing all the same things that apparently he did the first time around. Um, but there is some slight history with all the people he comes across. So that was kind of like, is like the premise was interesting, but they didn't capitalize on the premise extremely well, in my opinion. Um, yeah. Either way, I watched it to completion, so there's that. Then this one's reincarnated as a noble person, right? I think, and he's just like overpowered and loved by the gods or whatever. Aristocrat. There you go. That was super fun to watch. Super fun to watch. Very interesting world that they built in this one as well, and some really over the top stuff to make him overpowered. But it was still interesting just to see the different exploits he gets into. So entertaining nonetheless. Up next we got my home hero. My home hero. It was kind of cool to get a suspense drama of this kind of ilk where it's adults dealing with serious things and just kind of not quite murder mystery, but murder hide, don't get caught. Like it says, suspense, is a drama. And it was really interesting to see the mind games at work, especially with one of the main guys who suspects our main character, the dad, who happened to kill a Yakuza. So yeah, that was really fun. Enjoyed watching that. Smartphone season 2. Can't believe they made a season 2. See, there you go. You get a 5. It's bad. It's not a great show, but is it entertaining? Yeah, it can be entertaining. It now we got to all the new sanctuaries and stuff, the different parts that create what I believe is called Babylon, and then you got these new monsters that they have to try and fight, but then it's also just how much can we increase his harem by, where that pretty much takes most of the forefront of our priority. So that's dumb, but I was like, you know what, let's go ahead and just see if it gets any better. And no it didn't. But did I watch it? Yeah. All right. The hero is dead. And this was super fun. It was another super fun one. Really horny. I mean, it's an ecchi show. But it it was still fun to watch, just to see how the different necromancer powers come into play and how the mana works, and using the stones from the demons and all that. It was interesting. It was a very interesting storyline. Just it was pervy. Up next we got I kind of forgot that this was this season. Okay, it's been so long since I've been watching this season stuff, so sorry. I'm so late to this. Anyway, my one shot kill sister in another world or whatever. The show was another one that's just stupid funny though. And just to see him try to keep up the facade that he's the real hero instead of his sister, who's all powerful. It's just kind of interesting to see the different situations he put himself into, and see how she would try and help, or the demon they run into tries to help. So fun, wacky stuff. But what I really call it a quality show, like a high quality show, no. Entertaining though, yes. But what I can say was super wacky, but also just really, really interesting. Magical Destroyers. Oh my goodness, this mug was insane. This mug was insane. I was like, what in the world is even going on in this? And then all the different plot twists that ended up happening towards the end, I was like, yo, this is mad weird, but I'm loving every single second of it. And it happened to introduce me to the ending song, Gospelian. Oh my gosh, love that. The soundtrack I cannot wait to get, because the music in this show is immaculate. But the action in this, the kind of story and love into otaku culture and all that kind of stuff was really interesting. And yeah, I really enjoyed watching this. It was neat. Let's see, what's next? Do I have anything else? Yep, Yuri is my job. Silly little romance thing, a little kind of Yuri kind of show, different situations. Love seeing the different relationships between the characters and how they kind of try to deal with the feelings that they have towards those relationships that they have with them, and it was kind of interesting, silly, but also kind of interesting. Like, at first there were characters that I just didn't like. I was like, why is it so important for you to act this way? But then you end up getting some more background later on, and you're like, oh, okay, I get why you act this way. That's stupid, but at least now I understand. And yeah, so it was a fun watch. And let's see, anything else? I know I got to be getting close to the end of what I've watched. Eventually, I'm gonna watch the Mixed Story season 2, because I watched the first season. There's a couple other ones that I know I'm gonna come back to. Nier Automata, they just released like the last 4 episodes, so I can actually talk about that too. The way they ended, the changes that they ended up making were very interesting, and from the game, and how they made it a different experience was very neat and also puzzling, because I'm just like, why did they decide to do it? And how come some things seem somewhat the same despite those changes? And I'm just curious how the second part of the series is going to be once they get to release it and do the other endings on the Nier Automata story that a lot of fans know. But yeah, after like watching a whole podcast breaking down like the different philosophy references and all that kind of stuff throughout the entire game, and then going to this, really made me question the different choices that were made in the storytelling in this anime form. So, but it has to be somewhat different regardless, just due to the fact that it's not a game anymore, it's a show. So things can't hit as hard if they don't try to cater to the art form, the media, the type of media it is. So anyway, and eventually I'm going to end up watching all of Golden Kamuy. Definitely want to do that, especially because I really do like the show, but once they announced the season 4, I was like, yo, they're only showing it subbed, and now they've dubbed it, but it's in the 4th season, and I need to remind myself of what happened all before. So I'm going to rewatch the entire series up to season 4, so that's going to be a little while before I'll talk a bit about that. And then let's see, what other things am I possibly going to be trying to go to that I can mention to you guys. Let's see, because I feel like there's a couple other ones that I passed up, saying that I wanted to get thinking in my head, oh yeah, I'm going to eventually watch that. Ranking of Kings is definitely one that I will come to, but I still have to watch the first season. Eventually I'll end up watching the Konosuba spinoff here. because I just haven't watched the first season, any of Konosuba, but I'm definitely going to. And yeah, let me quickly talk to you about what I'm watching in the summer season. I am watching season 2 of Jujutsu Kaisen, watching Mushoku Tensei season 2, watching Zom 100, enjoying that. Gonna rewatch Horimiya the first season, and then watch Horimiya Peace, which I guess is kind of like an anthology series now that I'm seeing it. Wait a second. Oh, it hasn't started airing yet. It airs in August. I was like, wait, Goblin Slayer 2? I didn't know about that. Well, when that does start airing, I'll certainly watch it. I'm rewatching Masamune's Revenge so I can watch the second season here. Let's see, what else am I currently watching? Liar Liar, that's pretty fun so far. I didn't watch the second season of Devil as a Part-Timer, so maybe eventually I'll come back to that. Am I the Strongest? This one's another power fantasy isekai, but I'm enjoying it so far. Maybe I'll come back to this when I watch the first episode. It had an interesting premise, but we'll see what comes of it. I just know it's gonna be probably ridiculous, but fun regardless. Let's see what else we got. This one here, I don't remember the name of this Classroom of Heroes, I think. This is pretty fun so far too. Another kind of I'm the reincarnated hero and I'm overpowered kind of thing, but it's still pretty fun so far. We'll see how that goes. The unique skill, even at level 1, that's also just interesting. I'm curious how they're gonna continue to work on the premise of him being overpowered with his drops that he gets. And then the Masterful Cat, this one is hilarious and I love it. Let's see what else. What is this called? The Greatest Cleric or something like that. Enjoying that so far. The AI one is pretty neat. Curious how many interesting stories they'll pull out of the AI concept, along with like the humanoids and all. What else we got? Is that everything? Is that everything I'm watching currently? I think it is. So, yeah. Anyway, that's my quick thoughts on the last season and what I'm currently watching. So, yeah. Tell me what not songs. Tell me what, I'm so used to talking about music on this channel. I rarely talk about anything else. What did you guys think of the past season? What were your favorite things to watch? And yeah, put your thoughts in the comments. I'll be looking forward to reading them and possibly checking out those series when I find the time. But until next time, much love, peace, the